Hey guys, this is Josh F151 Tech back with another video. And in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about some disappointing news regarding the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra that I actually purchased a few days ago. So I made a video, like a teaser type video on my channel. I put a video of the Supcase Unicorn Beetle Pro series case on my channel, and I was talking about if I was actually going to be switching to the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra over my Google Pixel 8 Pro. And actually, I just wanted to make a quick video and talk about this. And I'm actually not going to be switching to the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and I'll actually tell you guys why. So I do actually still have my Google Pixel 8 Pro. I did, like somewhat of a quick unboxing video on that on my channel, and I talked about it a little bit. I didn't really go too much into detail about it. But I do have videos on my channel talking about why I upgraded from the Google Pixel 8 to the Google Pixel 8 Pro, for future-proofing reasons and stuff like that. I have that video on my channel if you want to check that out. But I come to find out, I went to unlock the bootloader on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and come to find out there's no OEM unlock option in the developer options. So the first thing I did, I thought, well, I don't have a SIM card in here, so let me put a SIM card in here. And then I, tried to do it again, and it still wasn't showing up. So what I did was I factory reset it. I tried to do that, and then I went online, because it was still not showing up. So I went online, and come to find out, even if you buy the unlocked version of any Samsung Galaxy phone in the US, you cannot unlock the bootloader. So basically, you can't root the phone. So that's definitely a no-no for me. Unfortunately, I'm going to be returning this phone. I'm not even going to show you guys it because I have it back, boxed up. I'm not even going to, do a review on it or anything. So apparently, I read on Reddit, and Samsung has been doing this since the Samsung Galaxy S6 series, and actually onward. So, I don't really know why they're doing it. I didn't really get any, clear clarification why they're doing it. But apparently the carriers want it done. So they ended up doing it, even on the unlocked versions of the US, the US model. So this kind of makes me aggravated because Android is supposed to be Android. Android is supposed to be, not like locked down, like iOS is, with Apple. Mac OS, stuff like that. It's not supposed to be locked down like that. So this is aggravating to me. I'm not going to pay, close to $2,000 for a phone, if I'm not able to root it or use it how I want to use it. That's just very disappointing to me. But, I'm not really that mad about it either because, like I said, I have my Google Pixel 8 Pro. I'm just glad that I didn't actually trade in my Google Pixel 8 Pro, for the Galaxy S24 Ultra, because I would really be mad at myself if I did that. But, I am going to actually miss the S Pen because I really do like the S Pen, with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but, I can get over that, I can get over that, I don't really have to have an S Pen, it's not really that big of a deal, and actually it wasn't really that, nice to me anyway, the phone, it's a nice phone, I give it that, it's a nice phone, but, I can live without the S Pen, I would rather have root access on my phone, because I've actually talked about that on my channel before. If I can't root my phone, I'm not going to be happy with it. I rely on apps, like ad blocking apps and stuff like that. I like to tweak my phone, make it how I want it. And honestly, while Samsung, has, a pretty good OS, one, UI, I think it's called, or something like that. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. But it's not actually stock Android is basically what I'm getting at. And, you can't, do as much with it, as you can with a Google Pixel phone. Obviously you can't root it. So that's definitely a bad thing. That's definitely something that I, want to be able to do with my phone. And some people would say, oh, rooting is not, really worth it anymore. Some people would say that, but I've done it for so many years. I used to do it when Samsung actually allowed it. And that's why I actually got away from Samsung phones, because they actually are harder to root than Google Pixel phones. And they're harder to root than, like Motorola phones or OnePlus, stuff like that. You have to flash things with Odin, and all that kind of stuff. It's just a pain. With my Google Pixel, I don't really have to do all that. I can just, run some commands, and get root access on my phone. It's not really that big of a deal. Like it is with a Samsung phone, where you have to unlock the bootloader, you have to download, a program called Odin, you have to flash it, you have to do all that kind of stuff. It's just a simpler process. With like Motorola phones, OnePlus phones, LG phones when they had those, stuff like that, just closer to stock Android is definitely better, in my opinion, so, that's basically the video. I didn't really want to, talk too much about this, I didn't want to, get, like too much into it, but, for me, I have to have root access on my phone, because all the apps that I have, so many apps on my phone actually rely on it, for like ad blocking apps and stuff like that. I just couldn't bring myself to not have root access on my phone, especially, for a Galaxy S24 Ultra, that's, I would want to use it to, my liking, for almost $2,000, a phone for almost $2,000, I would want to be able to use it to my liking. I would want to be able to root it, and stuff like that, and some people on Reddit actually told me, oh, well, you can buy the international version outright and you can root it, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to have to buy the international version, I don't want to have to do that. I can just root my Google Pixel, I bought that from Best Buy. I can root my Google Pixel 7a, which I have, and, I can root my Google Pixel 8 Pro, that I have. I actually have root access on it right now. As you can see right there, I have Magisk installed, and it took me like maybe 5 minutes, to get it installed. It didn't take long at all. But, that's basically the video, guys. I just wanted to talk about this. It is unfortunate. I could have still done a video on it. It's not really, the end of the world, that I can't get root access on it, but another thing I thought about too is another thing that I thought about, I have so much invested in Google. I have like Google security cameras around the yard, out in the yard and everything to protect the house and everything. I have Google Nest Hubs. I have 2 of them. I have a Google Pixel Watch, the first generation LTE. I have a Google Pixel Watch 2 LTE, which is my daily driver now. I have a Google Pixel 8 Pro. I have a Google Pixel 7a. I have, things that run, Linux. I have, Raspberry Pis. Not that that's, like, not that that's like stock Android. I guess it really pretty much is considered stock Android, but, you guys are basically getting the picture. I don't really have many Samsung things. I mean, yeah, Samsung still is, Android, but they seem to definitely be locked down, more than, the Google Pixel phones are, which is definitely a no-no for me. And I have other things too, that are Google. I have, I have 4 Google Chromecasts or Google TV 4Ks. I just have so much invested, in Google, in the Google ecosystem, that I would feel like if I switched to Samsung, obviously I would have to get a Galaxy Watch, to go with my phone. I would have to get, Samsung stuff, more Samsung stuff, in order to, basically like fit in. In other words, I mean, yeah, I could probably use my Google Pixel Watch with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but it wouldn't, it just wouldn't feel right in my opinion, it just wouldn't feel right. But, that's basically the video, guys. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Like I said, it is unfortunate, but I wanted to, let you guys know, that I'm not going to be doing a review on it, because as soon as I found out, that I couldn't root it, that I can't root the US version of it. I was like, no, I was like, oh no. I was like, I'd rather have my Google Pixel 8 Pro with stock Android, and honestly, like I said, I would miss the stock Android, honestly. I would really miss the stock Android because stock Android is a lot better in my opinion. It's vanilla Android, that's basically what it is, it's stock. And that's definitely what I like. That's why I went with Motorola phones for so many years before I actually switched over to Samsung. And then actually I had Samsung first, and then when they started doing their stuff with locking the bootloaders and stuff, that's actually when I switched over to Motorola. And then I switched over to Google because they started having longer, update support with Motorola phones. Like I had the Motorola 8. The Motorola Moto 8 and stuff like that, back in the day, they still make those and everything, but the problem with those was, they actually only gave you like a year or two of, if you were lucky, you would get like a year or two of software updates with them, like major Android updates. And, I got tired of that. I didn't really think that was enough. But I was able to root those phones easily. But, they're still really good phones, really well-made phones. Motorola makes really good phones. And so does LG, actually. They were easy to root as well. Some of them, depending on where you got them. If you got them, from a carrier and stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to root them. But, I really don't know why Samsung is actually doing this. I really don't. Because when you buy an unlocked phone, like I said, when you buy an unlocked phone, you should be able to use that phone however you want. You shouldn't be locked down to where you can't actually unlock your bootloader. I really disagree with that. I really don't think that they should be doing that. They're getting more like Apple, in my opinion. They're getting more like Apple, when it comes to, locking down their iOS, their OS. And that's definitely not a good thing. That's going to push somebody like me away, because Android is supposed to be Android. Android is basically, supposed to be like open source and stuff. It's supposed to be, how you can make it how you want it. So you can make it how you want it and stuff, and use it how you want it. And with, Samsung doing that, that makes me feel like I'm trapped. It makes me feel like I'm using an iOS device, because I'm not actually able to unlock the bootloader, and root my phone, like how I want to. Basically, the long story short is I want to be able to use my phone, to its full potential. In my opinion, if you can't root your phone, you're not using it to its full potential. That's just my opinion. Some people would probably say, oh, root is not needed, but like I said, I've been rooting for years. I've been rooting since LG. I've been rooting since, Motorola phones, like Motorola, Moto 7, Moto G7, Moto G6. I had the Moto G5. I had, a bunch of Motorola phones, that I was able to root, unlock the bootloader and root them, because they were cheap back then too. They were a lot cheaper back then, than phones are now. But, you also have to take into consideration, like software update support. But back then, I didn't actually have the best job. I was still living at home. I was living, with my mom. I mean, I still am now. But I didn't have a better job, back then than I do now. I have a better job now. But I'm not going to spend, almost $2,000 on a Samsung Galaxy phone, and not be able to root it. That's the thing. And some people would say, oh, just buy the international version, but I don't want to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to buy the, unlocked US version, like I'm able to do with the Google Pixel 8 Pro, and I should be able to root it. I shouldn't, be locked down like that. I shouldn't have to, buy the international version, of the phone just to be able to root it. I mean, that's just, ridiculous in my opinion. But, like I said, I will miss it. I will miss the stylish. I really think that that's a really nice feature. But it didn't really do as much as I thought it could do anyway. anyway. I was messing around with it, and it didn't really, meet my expectations, really. I thought that I could do a lot more with it, than I thought I really could, but, it didn't really, meet my expectations, and I have the same screen size, the Google Pixel 8 Pro, basically has the same screen size, and honestly, like I said, I'd rather have stock Android anyway, so, I was having second thoughts about it anyway, but now, now that I can't, OEM unlock it, and unlock the bootloader and root it and everything like that, now, that's basically the last straw. That was the last straw. When I asked on Reddit, if I'm able to, root the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and somebody asked me, what model number do you have? So I gave them the model number, and they told me, no, you have to get the international version. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to put out that kind of money, because I honestly think that the international versions are more. Now don't quote me on that. I don't really know if that's true or not. But I actually paid for this, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I actually paid for that with a credit card. I didn't buy it outright. Most people don't just have $2,000, that they can just, throw on a phone, like that. But, I actually paid for it with a Best Buy credit card. So, obviously I'm not going to be, paying on it anyway because I have 15 days to return. It's only been like 2.5 days. Or so now, but I'm going to return it. I might have to pay a restocking fee and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not really that worried about that because I'm just going to keep my Google Pixel 8 Pro, and roll from there. But I really don't like the fact, like I said, that it's locked down like that. I really don't know why Samsung is doing that. The only reason that I can think is because of better security and stuff like that. I think it's that they want to have their phones more secure. I think it's like something to do with that. They don't want you to flash other software on their phones and stuff. But that like I said, that takes away from the the Android experience. That takes away from the Android experience, and that's definitely not a good thing. It's getting to be more like iOS. It's getting to be more locked down. And that's definitely not a good thing. That's not something that I can roll with. That's not something that I can deal with. Some people will be like, oh, like I said, rooting is not really that big of a deal. But if you're like me, if you're a veteran, you've been rooting your phones for years, I know that I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I know that I wouldn't be able to deal with it. If I traded in my Google Pixel 8 Pro, I know, for a fact that I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Eventually I would honestly miss stock Android basically too, is what I'm getting at. So, and like I said, I just have so much invested in Google, that I, don't really feel like, making the switch because I would have to, get a Google, a Galaxy Watch. I would have to, sell my Google Pixel Watch, all that kind of stuff. I just have so much invested, in Google's ecosystem, and I really love their products. That's the thing. I really, don't know why I was actually going to switch to Samsung, to be honest, because I really, do love their products. So, but that's basically it, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to get a quick video out. It's not really a quick video. It's going on 17 minutes now. But, I just wanted to talk about this because, I thought that it was worth talking about because I really don't like how Samsung is doing that. I really don't like that. If you buy the unlocked version of a phone, you should be able to basically do whatever you want with that phone. You're paying for an unlocked version of a phone, and they're gonna lock the bootloader on you, or not even give you the option, to unlock the bootloader, which is definitely a no-no for me. I didn't even know that, before I bought this phone. I didn't even know that. I can even unlock the bootloader on my Google Pixel 7a. I've never had problems, with unlocking the bootloader on Google Pixel phones. I've never had a problem. Obviously if it was a carrier phone, yeah, you would have a problem because they lock unlock the bootloaders on carrier phones. But the thing is, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra that I have, that's not a carrier phone. It's actually supposed to be unlocked. It's an unlocked phone. Yeah, I could still use it on any carrier. But the thing is, I'm not able to actually unlock the bootloader in order to flash, custom firmware, custom, ROMs like TWRP, to be able to root it. I'm not able to root it because you still have to, OEM unlock it, even if you flash Magisk with Odin. That's about the only way that you can actually use Odin, the Odin flash tool, on the computer. That's the only way that you can actually flash, Magisk, either that or TWRP, a custom ROM, which you also have to have, an unlocked bootloader to be able to do. So, it's just not, it's just not good. That's just not good. I'm not going to buy the international version of a phone, just to be able to unlock the bootloader and root it, when I can do that with my Google Pixel devices. So I'm just not going to do that. So, but anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, that's basically the video. It's a sad video, that I had to make, but I wanted to get this video out there, to let people know about this too. I wanted to let people know, that, a lot of people probably already know this, but I actually didn't know this. So I'm, new to this. I didn't actually know, that Samsung was actually hardening their phones this much, which definitely isn't good. That's definitely not a good thing, because a lot of people are going to go to Google, over this, or they're going to go to Motorola, or they're going to go to OnePlus, or they're going to go to LG, if LG still makes phones. I think they do. I don't know if they do or not. Actually, I don't think they do. But, there's going to be a lot of people, that are not going to buy the international version, because you can't buy the international version, of the Samsung Galaxy phones, at least the newer ones right now. I looked on there, and on Best Buy, and you can't buy the international version, on there. You have to actually buy them, from the actual Samsung website, and I don't have like $2,000 some, to just go on there and buy it, outright. I would have to use a credit card or something, and I actually only have, a Best Buy credit card, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make payments on it like that, either, because I just think that's ridiculous. I get more, I get more, for the price of my Google Pixel 8 Pro. I have the 256 gigabyte model. I got it for future proofing. Like I said, I made a video about that, on my channel if you want to check that out. But, I just feel like I get more, for my money, with my Google Pixel 8 Pro. Yeah, it doesn't have a stylus, but that's not really that big of a deal. It's just as snappy, it's just as fast, and the camera is actually better. I've looked online, about reviews and stuff about that, and actually the cameras are actually better on the Google Pixel 8 Pro, versus the Galaxy S24 Ultra. So, in my opinion, if you guys are looking, to go with a phone that you can root, that you can customize, that you can make, how you want it, that you can actually have for future-proofing reasons, I would definitely recommend going with the Google Pixel 8 Pro, the unlocked version, over the Samsung Galaxy phones, or actually any Samsung Galaxy phones, since you can't actually root them, or unlock the bootloader, even if you buy the unlocked version, which I think is ridiculous, like I said. So, but anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, that's basically where I'm at. I'm going to be keeping my Google Pixel 8 Pro. I'm going to be keeping my Google Pixel 7a, and stuff like that. I'm going to be staying in the Google ecosystem. So I'm really glad that I'm not going to be, leaving, actually. I'm really, glad that I'm going to be continuing to use Google products, and stuff like that. So, but anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, I just wanted to get this video out there. And if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, guys.